cue. Sure. Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. All right.
Oh, she's gonna sing.
No. You don't wish that upon any of us. Gosh, I really loved that meditation. Did you like that?
Yeah.
That just felt so good. And I don't want this stamp. Is that okay? Can you make that go away? Yeah, I really liked the meditation. I liked the heart. I loved the script. It was great.
I did not write it.
But you did.
I read the words.
You presented it. You presented it beautifully. It was amazing. So thank you. I appreciate that.
I love the deep voice behind it.
Yeah, you got a great. You get the
Went too
voice.
far, didn't I? No.
And I love that Reverend Linda brought in the drum. You know, just I thought that yeah, really grounding heartbeat rhythm and in time with our topic today, dancing to the drum that you hear. Makes sense, right? Some people have to do some more drumming. All right, so since the last time I stood up here and talked to you, I had a birthday. Yeah, right. Yay, I turned 63.
No.
I turned 63, and apparently 63 comes with some things other than cake and presents. Maybe nice dinner, you know. I did get to have those things. I had all those things. I'm still having all those things because for me, we do birthday palooza like all week, all month, all month. So there's still time. But yeah, so 63 came with some homework, and if anyone knows who's in charge of assigning homework on birthdays, I'd like to speak. I'd really like to speak with them because I did have all of the things. Had a great time in Depot Bay. Going to go on a retreat next week. But I also picked up this book. I picked up the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. If anyone hasn't read it, it started me down a really interesting little road of self-discovery and healing, some recovery, a little road of recovery. But because fairly quickly into the book, I became aware of some things about myself that I'm not particularly thrilled to discover, which always happens. I mean, that's kind of the purpose, right? The point and purpose of reading a book like this is there's an expectation that we're going to discover things about ourselves, right? But what I discovered was kind of, I guess, my occasional belief that God could use some supervision from me. Yeah. I also like to call those survival mechanisms. Nobody can relate to this. All right. They're just some ways that I've learned to manage circumstances. Sometimes manage people. Sometimes manage outcomes. Ways that I've learned to manage things so that I can feel safe. Some people call those things control issues. You can say that if you want. Sure, I'm the only one in the room with that. Let them. But I had a moment that maybe some other people have had when you've kind of pulled back the curtain and something went, oh, I didn't know that was back there. You know, look at that. And thinking, well, that's really unattractive. Anybody else like have those moments where you pull back the curtain and you're like, ooh. Yeah. And when I say unattractive, I'm not talking about like being pretty. I'm talking about the metaphysical energy of unattraction. And how sometimes our behaviors and things that we do, the way that we show up in the world is not attractive. It's actually repulsive. right? It repels. It repels. So it's repelling experiences from me that are, what do I want to say? Experiences just disguised as problems that are actually opportunities, right? And it's the things that, like my walls are not just keeping me safe, they're keeping me separate. They're keeping me separate. It's keeping things outside of my experience, and it's not just the thing that I think I don't want in my space, but it's also opportunities for different experiences. It repels everything. It repels the good stuff too. The walls can keep out the good stuff, and honestly, I don't want to be unattractive. I want to be attractive. I want to be a magnet. I want to be a magnet for joy, and a magnet for health, and a magnet for prosperity, and a magnet for love, and a magnet for all of the experiences that are going to help me grow and develop as a human being and as a soul and as a spirit on this planet. I want to attract all of the good that I can, right? And I know that I can't attract all the good that I can and filter out the things that I don't want to feel. Because here's what I've learned. I don't know if anybody else has had this experience, but when I get to have the experiences that I think I don't want to feel, wow, I get some really big gifts out of that, right? In the end, something different happened for me this time, because usually when I embark on a journey of spiritual transformation, there's a certain amount of kicking and screaming, right? I can resist, or I start to negotiate. Right? I'll start to negotiate with God why this particular issue is not one that I necessarily need to be transforming right now. And I have evidence, and I have witnesses, I have receipts. I can prove why. But eventually I surrender. Eventually I will surrender, and I will begin to participate in my own healing, in my own self-growth. And this time the birthing process wasn't actually that horrible. I saw something, I don't particularly like it. And then pretty quickly on the heels of that, another question kind of showed up. So if I don't want to live like this, how do I want to live? So I stepped out of this place of kind of a self-condemnation, really examining all of the things on my past. I mean, I went back to third grade, all the things that I had been doing my whole life through this one particular lens of survival mechanism. And I think that that is really important. I think that it's important to take a look at that. It's important. I know anybody who's ever done a fourth step or any sort of self-examination, there is an opportunity for us to look at our behavior, to own what's happened, and to come out of that not with a feeling of self-condemnation, but a feeling of self-love. Eventually, there's a love and a compassion for yourself in there. And so I think awareness is incredibly important, but awareness isn't the destination. Right? Awareness is like the map that we're using to get to the destination, even if we don't even know what the destination is yet. So awareness lets me see what I'm doing, and then authenticity starts to take a little presence in my consciousness, in my healing journey. Authenticity says, now that you see it, what's actually true for you? Now that you see what you don't want to be living like, what is true for you? How do you want to live? And life asks that question. Are you willing to live that truth? So our talk today is called Dancing to the Drum That You Hear, and I've been thinking about that all week, a couple weeks. And what I'm getting to with that topic is that there's a lot of drums. There's a lot of drums, y'all. It's a lot. There's the drum of our family expectations, our culture, the drum of fear, the drum of success, survival, the drum of comparison, the drum of what everybody else thinks that I should be doing or wearing or thinking at 63. The drum of who we used to be. And some of those rhythms are so familiar that we don't even recognize that we're dancing to them. That we're still dancing to a drum that was playing decades ago. But we just keep on moving. And then every once in a while, something happens that interrupts the music, right? Something happens that interrupts that dance. It could be a birthday. Right? It could be a diagnosis. It could be retirement. It could be the beginning of a new relationship. It could be the end of an old relationship. It could be the end of a job. It could be picking up a book that should have maybe come with a mouth guard and some pads. I'm not sure. But suddenly you stop dancing long enough to ask, is this even my music?
Mm.
Howard Thurman, one of our great American mystics, talked about what he called the sound of the genuine. And I'm going to read this. He said, there is something in every man, human, that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine in themselves. There is something in each of us that waits and listens for the sound of the genuine within ourselves. And then he asks a very extraordinary question. What am I doing now to drown out the sound of the genuine within me? Yeah. And that's awareness. It's not what's wrong with me. It's not why am I like this. It's not even how do I fix this. It's what am I doing that makes it difficult for me to hear what is genuine within me. Because maybe genuine isn't something that we have created. It is actually the thing that we are born with. And that's the drum that Spirit has been beating all along. One of our spiritual principles today is awareness, and I think awareness is simply our willingness to notice. And I like the word willingness in there. It's not ability, it's our willingness to notice. And to notice without immediately defending, without immediately correcting, without immediately judging. Just kind of I didn't know that was back there behind the curtain in this box. And so recognizing my own kind of survival mechanism, that distinction mattered. It mattered about awareness without judgment. Because instead of saying, Donna, what is wrong with you? Or Donna, what is it that you're trying to protect? Or Donna, how are you going to fix this? Or Donna, why have you been acting like this all your life? It's a completely different conversation. And so I can ask myself, do I still need to protect myself that way? And sometimes the answer is no. For me right now, the answer is no. So I keep reading the book with my pads on. And I'm saying, thank you, old survival mechanism. Thank you, control issues. You have done your job, you may retire. There's cake in the break room. See? Because awareness without compassion can just become another weapon that we can use against ourselves. And spiritual awareness says, I see this, I understand why it developed, and now I consciously choose again. Ernest Holmes taught us that individuality must be spontaneous and that we possess the ability to choose. And that matters because science of mind doesn't teach us that we're trapped inside of our conditioning. We're not held prisoner by our past. It teaches us choice. It teaches us that we participate in the unfoldment of our lives. So awareness lets me hear the drum. And then comes the hard part. Authenticity means that I actually have to move my feet. It's one thing to know what's true. It's another thing to live in the truth. Authenticity isn't just saying, this is who I am. Sometimes authenticity says, this is who I'm no longer willing to be. So that's where I find myself at 63. I am finding that I'm less interested in some things. I am less interested in spending enormous amounts of energy managing how things are going to turn out. I'm less interested in trying to choreograph other people's dance. I'm increasingly interested in asking, what is mine? What's mine to do? What's mine to say? What's mine to release? What's mine to love? What's mine to experience? And what belongs to someone else? There's enormous freedom in that. And I've also had some very real conversations with some people lately, people that I love dearly, conversations about our bodies, conversations about chronic illness, about mortality, about end of life. Why did my body do this? Did my body betray me? Did I betray my body? What happens when our bodies don't behave according to the plan that we had for them? And these aren't theoretical, spiritual conversations. I mean, they are spiritual. But they're the kind of conversations that kind of strip things down. Because mortality, when mortality enters the room, the dance floor kind of clears. And suddenly the things that we spent huge amounts of time and energy worrying about become very small. And other things become bigger, brighter. Who do I love? Do they know? Am I living? Not just breathing, but living? Am I present? Am I spending my life doing what matters to me? Am I enjoying any of this? Or am I waiting for some future version of me to show up before I can give myself permission to be happy? And here's what keeps coming up for me, y'all, because I really dig my life. I really do. I love my wife. I love my family. I love our life together. I love the places that we connect so beautifully. And I even love the places where we don't connect so beautifully. Learning to love through those experiences. And I love this ministry, right? Yes. I love this ministry. I love watching this community grow. I love watching the pantry take on a life of its own. I love Tuesdays, I love Wednesdays, I love Thursdays, I love Sundays. I love walking through the doors and hearing the voices and hearing the laughter and hearing people connecting and hearing the love that we're generating in these rooms. I love watching the momentum that is beginning to build as the Lighthouse and as Emerald Valley. I love teaching, I love learning, and I love watching people getting their buttons pushed every now and then because of their own spiritual growth that's happening. And apparently I'm not the only one who is kicking and screaming down the road of transformation. Welcome. We have snacks, coffee. So I'm preparing for ordination. I'm preparing to go on retreat tomorrow for a week. I'm preparing to pour my first sweat lodge for the first time since pre-COVID, first official full ceremony. And it's pretty exciting. There's a lot happening, and somewhere in the middle of it all, I realized this is the dance, y'all. This is the dance. It's not someday. It's not when things settle down. It's not when everybody starts behaving themselves. It's not when my body becomes predictable. It's not when I finally achieve perfect enlightenment and I stop having control issues. It's this. It's this. It's this complicated, gorgeous, imperfect, sacred life. This is the dance. This is it. All of the things. So maybe spiritual practice isn't learning some entirely new dance. Maybe it's becoming quiet enough to notice the drum that is moving us. Is it fear? Is it approval? Is it survival? Is it habit? Is it somebody else's expectations? Is it an old version of ourselves that we've simply outgrown? Or underneath all of that, can we hear something quieter? Something steady. Something ancient. Something that's been with us since the beginning. That sound of the genuine. The rhythm of spirit within you. So today I'm interested in trusting that rhythm. I'm interested in hearing that rhythm, dancing to that drum that I hear within myself. I'm interested in loving the people around me long enough to let them hear theirs. Because I know that someday this dance is going to end. At least this particular version of the dance. And so while I've got my feet on the ground, and while there's music still playing, and while there's people to love and prayers to pray and meals to eat and dances to dance and retreats to go to and parties to plan, I'm going to listen. My intention is to listen and trust what I hear. And when the drum of spirit says, move, I intend to dance. So I do have a question. What's one of the rhythms or an old way of being right now that you're ready to stop dancing to? What is the deeper drum within you asking you to choose instead? And I know that's a big, heavy, deep question. So the invitation is for you to take it home with you this week. What dance are you dancing that you're tired of dancing? What rhythm do you hear faintly, quietly, somewhere deep inside that you'd love to be dancing to instead? What do you need to remove so that you can hear the sound of that genuine within you. It's my deepest wish that all of us, that every human being on this planet is able to feel the love of spirit within them, to feel the divine perfection that they are, to know the truth of who they are, and in so doing know the truth of who everybody else is. Wouldn't that be a beautiful place to live? I want to dance to that drum. Right? Where I don't have expectations of other people's behaviors to meet what I think I need, or what I think they should be doing, or how they should be behaving. But just loving them are exactly who and how they are. So take a moment with me, if you would. You can close your eyes if you feel like it. You don't have to. I am grateful for this life. I am grateful for this heartbeat within me. This drum of my heart, this drum of my life, this way that Spirit is giving me a sound all the time to listen to know that there is only life. There is only life, there is only love, there is only good, there is only light, there is only joy. And everything else that shows up that appears to be anything opposite of that, I turn away. I turn away. I don't embrace it. I don't try to pull out a fire hose and drown it out. I don't try to make it different. I don't try to change it. I just turn away from it and I focus on the good. I focus on the one. I focus on the love. Because I know that there is no power greater than the energy of love. And so when I'm focusing there is no power that is stronger than that. And so I take a look at myself and I say, where have I learned to be less loving? Where have I learned to feel less safe? Where have I learned that the world isn't for me? And how do I change that? How do I step out of that? What would love want me to be thinking and feeling and doing in that situation? Love wants me to focus on love. And so I do. And when I see myself do something that maybe I'm not so proud of, I wrap my arms around myself and I say, I love you. You don't have to fight anymore. You don't have to make yourself small. You're safe. You're loved. And so I'm grateful. I'm grateful for this experience. I'm grateful to be in this life. I'm grateful to be dancing this dance, all of the dances, even the ones that are uncomfortable. I want to dance all the dances. I want to dance the dance that Spirit has put inside of me to do. And I want you to do the same. I want you to dance your dance. I want you to be your authentic self. I want you to hear the genuine inside of you. I want you to bloom and blossom and be the most amazing and beautiful expression of Spirit that you can possibly achieve. And so I know that that is the truth of what is happening. And I'm grateful to be able to witness this. Thank you, Spirit. Thank you, life. So it is.